Mime twist.
I'm not a painter by any means, but I see art as a form of communication. And I think the medium is a part of that story. Now, I can draw, so I'm hoping those skills can transfer over to paint, as I'm less confident with a brush. But to get more confident, understanding what watercolour paint is might help. And I could be wrong about this, but from what I understand, watercolour is just colour pigment that uses water to travel to get to places where it can stay. Brushes act like a sponge in that process to transport the water with pigment in. Once it is scraped off onto a material like paper, the water will start to be absorbed into the paper. As the pigment can't be absorbed, it is left behind to rest on the surface, where it gets held by the anatomy of the paper and surrounding pigments. This is good because it means layers can be added if mistakes are made, or even masking tape can be used as a surface instead of paper. The ratio of pigment to water is what affects how the paint appears and spreads, and is how techniques are used. Two key techniques are wet on wet and wet on dry. This just means wet pigment on wet paper and wet pigment on dry paper. These play a massive effect on the ratios of pigment to water. These two techniques have sub-techniques like flat washing, a good, consistent, evenly spread and distributed layer of paint. Gradients, a gradual decline in pigments as it spreads so it gets lighter. Dry brushing, more pigment than water, getting moisture out of the brush before it is used. Sgraffito, scratching the paint, revealing the surface underneath. Pulling, moving the pigment with water by creating a motion for the pigments to be dragged by. Feathering, diluting a border of pigments and creating a motion with water. Salting, it pulls and absorbs water and pigment into spots where the salt lands. There are a lot more techniques. Check out YouTubers like Kellogg's, link in the description, to see them and how they're actually meant to appear. But I'm using these to paint sub-Saharan Africa. Which, as a side, just means below the Sahara, which is massive and can cover a wide range of habitats. So why did I say sub-Sahara and not just Africa? This is because it's where the main focus of this painting lives. Or should I be saying lived, as their population is declining so much, they're becoming a lot less widespread and are getting limited to just a few small pockets of Africa. These animals have evolved to have huge territories and goes into them needing large amounts of land as a species to keep a sustainable population. Within their individual territories, these animals are incredibly social, and they live and work within a family. This socialization is to the point of looking after the old, the young, or even grieving over the dead. Alongside their large ears, these skills allow for coordination and communication, to work together as a team to chase down and eat their prey alive, usually antelope. These skills make them one of Africa's most successful predators, and they're not even large like iconic African predators like hyenas or lions. But because of their small size, especially in comparison, they oftentimes come into conflict and get killed by hyenas and lions. This is one of the factors that dictates where is habitable for them. Another animal factor affecting where they can live but causes rapid population decline, unlike bigger predators, is domesticated dogs. This is because they carry a lot of transferable diseases, and because of their socialness, it can affect entire families or even groups at a time, causing massive population decline. Another factor that again is thanks to their evolution and being successful predators, they are often treated as a threat by people, be it from people needing more resources / land, farmers protecting their wild stock, or hunters. It all results in them being painted and treated as targets, and again it is affecting several at a time, not just one or two. All these factors as a collective is leading to rapid population decline and less habitable space for an animal that has evolved to exist across Africa, leaving it small pockets left. Even within captive populations, there are conversations on if there is enough genetic material for it not to be affected by inbreeding. So what is this animal? It is the African wild dog, otherwise known as the Cape hunting dog, also known as the painted dog. Fun fact, it's not a dog. It's a canine, but not a dog. Its taxonomy name has lichen in it, which is a guy who made Zeus mad and got turned into a wolf as a consequence, and pictus, which is a picture or painting, coming together to make lichen pictus, otherwise known as the painted wolf, known for its iconic decorative fur, large numbers and massive ears that might be used to help them cool down in the African sun. If you are interested in learning more or looking into the conservation and protection of these animals, there are links below to organisations dedicated to that, as they are a highly endangered species. Please like and subscribe. I will hopefully make more of these.